What is going on, guys? Frank the Geeky Gecko back here with another video. Today we're going to look at, can you keep leopard geckos at room temperature? Stick around in this video and we're going to find out. Selling in the billions each year, Rainbow Mealworms is your one-stop shop for all your insect needs. Their quality feeders and A+ customer service keep me coming back to support the health and growth of all of our animals. Visit them today at rainbowmealworms.net to place your order. Alright guys, so room temperature is a very broad spectrum, right? Some people's houses are cooler, some people's houses are warmer, some people live in the tropics, the desert, the frozen tundra. So in general, I'm going to keep it simple and tell you exactly what a leopard gecko needs to thrive. Now, I've observed leopard geckos digesting as low as 86 degrees. Some of my leopard geckos will be fine with no additional heat source, no belly heat, no over the head heat, and they'll digest around 86 degrees. Absolutely, you are going to start to see vomiting and regurgitation if you start to dip too low below that, especially into the 70s, especially into the 60s. I know this because I did a school event one time and I fed the geckos the night before. I brought them to the school where the temperature was probably around 70 degrees in the school. And by the end of the event, I would say about 50% of the geckos had regurgitated on the way home some of their mealworms. And I'm going to do a whole nother video on regurgitation and what you should be aware of and what you can do if you find your geckos regurgitating in the next video. But for this video, we're going to stick to the topic first of room temperature. Now, if you're fortunate like we are, I have a few rooms of my house that I can dedicate just to reptiles, meaning that a human does not have to live in it. Because if a human has to live in 86 degrees or higher constantly and sleep in that temperature, it's going to be very disturbing for that human being, unless they just super get used to like being in a sauna, right? Look at this little boy right here. I love this boy. This is Magma again. For all you guys who are fans of our boy Magma, hopefully, Lord willing, going to father like 100 female girls this year that we're going to breed him to. So that could be a lot of babies from Magma that we're really excited about. Also, check out the yellow Geeky Gecko Creations shirts. Let me know if you have any interest in shirts. I'll be placing another order for that soon, especially with the holidays coming up. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Rosh Hashanah, Kwanzaa, all of that. So, just taking a sec to appreciate this little boy. Mwah. Oh, he gave me a little chirp when I kissed him. He's like, hey, what you doing? They're really cool. When you tap their nose, usually, they will give you a little lick. They sense the environment through licking. He does not. There it is, the little lick. Getting back to the topic at hand. It's not a very long topic. That's why I'm kind of dragging this out a little bit. But in general, your leopard geckos are going to need a minimum of 88 degrees to digest their food. Preferably 90 to 92. Let me explain. I keep our room here at ambient room temperature. At some point in the past, we set up each and every one of these racks with heat tape or heat tape capabilities. So if anything gets bad, I can have the opportunity to kick on that heat tape and give the gecko a warm place to sit its belly on and digest its food. But in expansion of our leopard gecko operation, I began to think to myself, there's got to be an easier way. And I started talking to leopard gecko breeders from other countries, specifically the Philippines. In the Philippines, which is a very tropical environment, the temperature in this guy's house that I was speaking to never got below, I think it was like 80 degrees or something at nighttime. And during the daytime, it would always rise to about 86 to 90 degrees throughout his house. And he told me he has no issues with eating, digestion, pooping, breeding, any of that he could report to me so far in his testing. So I was like, you know what? Let me test that out in my operation here. So I got a little room heater, which you can buy off of Amazon. They're just called room heaters. It's an electrical box basically that heats up coil and a fan blows warm air into your room. Now, warm air blowing into your room is not good enough because all the warm air is going to rise to the top and all the cool air is going to sink to the bottom. And the top of the room is going to be about 90 degrees, but the bottom of the room is going to be about 84 to 85. It's a huge swing because hot air rises. And if you're in a colder environment like Canada or the Northeast or somewhere like that, the swing is probably going to be even greater. So I had to come up with a way to equally disperse the heat throughout the room. And I began to think, okay, what keeps heat at an equal distribution that I'm familiar with in the reptile hobby. Ding, ding, ding. Incubators. But not just any incubator, high quality incubators. What high quality incubators have that low quality incubators don't have are fans. Because fans circulate the air within the incubator to always keep it at a consistent temperature from top to mid to bottom as much as possible. And again, the blessings just overflowed. I already have fans inside of my rooms that I was heating. So right above me right now, I don't know if you can hear it, is a ceiling fan. It circulates the air from the ceiling, and the best incubators have fans at the top that blow air towards the bottom. And then some fans at the bottom that circulate the air back to the top. But that's not always completely necessary. If you have a fan blowing air down, most likely that air is going to circulate itself because heat rises, and so it's going to keep itself in a consistent rhythm. And that's exactly what I'm seeing with our ambient setup that we've been testing out for the past, I want to say, 7 to 8 months. We've been running pure ambient temperature. And so what ambient means is atmospheric temperature, environmental temperature. I run no hot spots in this room, no heat bulbs, no belly heat, no back heat on any of our racks. Our room is kept at a consistent 90 to 92 degree temperature. I've experimented lower between 87 to 88, but you will see a regurgitation for maybe 2 or 3 out of every 100 or so. And then when I increase the temperature to about 90 degrees, I'll see 1 regurgitation every now and then from a gecko out of every maybe 100 or 200 geckos. It's very, very low. Now I'm experimenting with even higher, which is 91 to 92 degrees. And so far I'm not seeing any regurgitation. There was one time where I forgot to turn the heat function on and just the fan function was on and the room wasn't heating up, and I came in and it was 82 or 84 degrees after being on all day, and I was like, what? Why is it so cool in here? And there was a few regurgitations that day, but just switch the dial onto heat and now we're perfectly fine. So the Goldilocks temperature that I'm looking at right now is about 90 to 92 degrees. And when I say regurgitation for every 1 out of every 100 or 200 geckos, I'm talking about 1 regurgitation out of 200 geckos. The rest of the meals were fine for that gecko. And I'm going to cover that in another video. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to quickly summarize. If that gecko had 5 healthy poos, maybe 1 meal was regurgitated out of those 5 for that week. And that could be because I had the door open too long. That could be because when the gecko was digesting, there was a temperature swing that day in the room. And you gotta remember, these geckos are from the wild. They have temperature swings in the wild, so that is natural for them. The really good thing about regurgitation is that the food does not rot in your gecko's stomach, and therefore it's actually good that the gecko gets it out of its system. And we're going to talk about that in the next video. But for the sake of this video, you want an ambient room temperature of somewhere between 88 degrees to 92 degrees. Preferably 90 to 92 if you can swing it. Get it? Swing it? Okay. And so that's basically it, guys. I mean, what questions do you have for me? Yes, the humid hides are going to evaporate a little bit faster if the room is at 90 degrees instead of ambient temperature 80 degrees. But I only spray my humid hides once a week. I give it a good spray, and that lasts for 7 days. So it's definitely possible. Again, water evaporates faster in 90 degrees, but that's actually a good thing because the faster water evaporates, the more clean that bowl is kept. We use disposable bowls now anyway, but if I could reuse this bowl the next week when I'm cleaning the gecko's tub, then that's just saving me and saving the environment and being less wasteful. So I'm all about it. If the water is evaporating quicker out of here, less or no bacteria forms, and I can reuse this bowl the next week. If the water is sitting in here for 7 days and it's not evaporating because the ambient room temperature is 80 degrees or really low, there's going to be a ton of bacteria that forms in here because after 2 to 3 days of stale, stagnant water, bacteria is beginning to form. And you realize that because the inside of the bowl starts to get really, really slimy. But I come back a week later, these bowls are perfectly evaporated, no slime whatsoever. We're good to go. Just reuse the bowl. Now, if the gecko poos in the bowl or if there's a dead mealworm in the bowl, that will facilitate more bacteria, so I'll always toss those bowls. But in general, if the bowl was clean and just evaporated naturally over the course of 2 to 3 days, perfectly fine just to refill the bowl. So what did you guys think about this video? Did you enjoy our topic about ambient room temperature? Is it something that you're going to consider, or something that could potentially help you in the future as you have desires to expand your leopard gecko operation? I'll tell you what, it's definitely helped us expand our leopard gecko operation. If we had to heat all of these racks, the amount of time, energy, and electricity bill that would be going into all of this would be significantly higher than just heating the room itself. So talk to your honey, your significant other, your spouse, or your parents, whatever that might be, and ask them, hey, can we sacrifice one room for the geckos or for the animals? That will really help my business and my expansion of the hobby that I want to go down. Talk to them about it. See what they think. Get a little room heater for 20, 30, 40 bucks off Amazon. Learn how to use it. Adjust the settings. What you're going to want to do is invest in some nice quality thermometers. We use the Govee. Govee. But you could use almost anything. I've used these ones before in the past off of Amazon. And one of my favorites, a 4-pack for like $5 off Amazon, is these. I use these everywhere, inside my incubators, inside my ambient room temperature setups. You need some kind of thermometer to monitor the room so that you could adjust the room heater higher and lower to heat the room exactly the temperature you want. And it's pretty much gonna stay the same, guys. Day and night, that room heater, it knows when to kick on when the temperature drops below the setting, and when to kick off when the temperature rises above the setting. They are pretty good, guys. And it's gonna keep you in a nice ambient room temperature of somewhere within 4 degrees, right? If you're setting it to 90 degrees, it might swing a little lower at night, like 88. It might swing a little higher during the day, especially if you have sun beating down on one side of your room. And that's what you do have to be aware of as well. And just set the settings appropriately. That's it. You know, in the wild, there's temperature fluctuations. It's not a bad thing. So again, we got the digital thermometer from Amazon. These are the waterproof ones where the probe can actually dip down into an aquarium tank if you want. So they're pretty cool. This one's actually called the QOOL Tech. So I think the Cool Tech is like their spin on it. Pretty cool. Humidity and temperature. And I really love these. These are humidity and temperature as well. And these are the Govee, Govee. Shout out to my cousin that came by one day and just gave us like 4 of these. If you can also get thermometers or humidity gauges that sync up to your phone through Wi-Fi, that would be super cool. Then you can monitor the temperatures even when you're away. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. I think I mentioned everything about ambient room temperature. Let me know if you have any questions. I just want to present to you guys a different way that you can grow and expand your hobby, your operation, or your business. This method also works for a number of species. Colubrids like king snakes, garter snakes, milk snakes, python species like Burmese python, ball python, reticulated python, and of course boa species like BCC, BCI, Dumerals, probably even the rainbow boa. I don't know a lot about rainbow boa, but all of these animals come from environments where there are temperature fluctuations and temperature swings. Within the environments that you keep them in, you can create little microclimates by spraying a humid hide. For example, the room temperature in here is 90 degrees, but in the humid hide, it's only 84, 85 degrees because evaporation is taking place, cooling inside of that humid hide. Plus the geckos always have a water bowl to get into, and there's just natural temperature swing throughout the day. So, I mean, it's just a win-win, guys. Ambient room temperature is a great method to use for expanding your leopard gecko or reptile breeding operation. All right, guys, well, this is 2 days in a row that Magma gets to sit on top of my head for the end of the video. What did you guys think? Do you have any questions for me about ambient room temperature setup? You know, you guys are our best topic recommendeers. Can I call you that? You help me come up with so many videos, and I really appreciate that. So the questions you have, do not be afraid to ask. It only helps me be a better educator as well as a better content creator because it gives me topics to talk about. So thank you so much. I'm filming a lot of videos now. I'm like, should I drop videos back-to-back days, or is that too much? What do you guys think? Would you like a video every single day, Monday through Friday, if we could? Maybe even some Saturdays and Sundays? let me know in a comment below. Also, recommend some video topics for me to cover over the next couple of videos, and I'm definitely going to put that on the list for consideration of what videos will be made next. But I have a whole list of like 40 video topics that people have requested and that I've been wanting to cover. So buckle up, guys, because we're going to be making some videos along with you guys. Because without you guys, what's the point of the video then? So thank you very much. I love you guys. Me and Magma will say peace for now. We'll see you in the next video. And remember, have a geeky gecko great day. See ya. That would be super cool. Then you can monitor the temperatures even when you're away from the house.